All right, let's jump into the Roto World player news. We have notable practice reports, of course. Austin Eckler did not practice yesterday with the ankle injury. Aaron Jones did not practice dealing with a hamstring. DeAndre Hopkins did not practice dealing with an ankle. Jacoby Myers is not at a concussion protocol. He has not practiced. Christian Watson.
I was just saying, Myers listed as doubtful for Sunday.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to go. That was a brutal hit. Hit. Christian Watson still not practicing. We know about his hamstring. A new one here. Circle this with red. Puka Nacua. I mean, if you dumped the fab budget on Puka Nacua right now, it's not Panic City, but he's dealing with an oblique and did not practice. We actually stop right here.
I'll just say it. Puka Nacua used to mean no worries.
Now
it's a problem. It's a problem-free philosophy. But the truth of the matter is now there's concern.
Puka Nacua now means check the Friday injury report.
Yeah, exactly. Watch Fantasy Football pregame Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern on Peacock, because we'll have the latest on Puka Nacua. I'm concerned, guys. This might be the Tutu Atwell show.
For the Rams,
especially because, by the way, right, and by the way, the Tutu Atwell show, by the way, is. I think that airs on Peacock like Thursdays. I'm pretty sure. I don't know our entire lineup, but it feels like it's
Tutu Atwell show.
I might be hosting that.
I feel like you host that for Peacock.
Yeah, that's something I'd be like, guys, I can't stay late. I got the Tutu Atwell show.
On Peacock and Freevee. Yeah, it probably feels
Tutu Atwell show's like season 8 of the X-Files after Mulder left. It's not great.
I feel like even if feels like the going against the Niners feels like you just kind of want to, unfortunately, if you can't avoid the Rams passing situation. If Puka Nacua is active, you probably have to start him, but I don't know that you feel great about him. I had at wide receiver 30, and I'll probably lower him a little bit when I do my Friday ranks update after all the injury reports come out, just because if he's rookie less than 100% against the Niners, that's going to be a little bit tough. I do think that if he's out, I prefer Tutu Atwell to Van Jefferson if I'm picking a Rams wide receiver that isn't Puka Nacua, but doesn't feel great.
I think Tyler Higbee is the only guy that you're really comfortable starting, and then even then you don't feel great about against the Niners defense.
I mean, I will say that his last 6 games against the Niners, Tyler Higbee averaging 10.9 fantasy points per game, which, for a tight end is not terrible. This is the world we live in. So, I mean, I don't mind Higbee as well, but don't love any of these situations here.
4 more trending the right way. Darren Waller, he's been dealing with that hamstring. He was limited. It sounds like Waller is going to obviously keep playing through this. They're just being cautious with him in practice. Mark Andrews been dealing with a quad. He was limited. Jerry Jeudy practiced in full off the hamstring injury. Davante Adams dealing with a foot injury. He practiced in full. So good news for the wide receivers at the end of this list, guys.
One thing I just want to sort of point out that because there's been a lot of discussion this week on this show and also in fantasy Twitter and elsewhere about Austin Eckler's injury by Austin himself as well, who's saying go pick up Josh Kelly. So we appreciate that from Austin. Aaron Jones as well. We'll see how that plays out. A.J. Dillon would immediately become a top 15 running back against Atlanta. Probably like borderline top 12 for me if Jones is out. But DeAndre Hopkins dealing with his ankle, right?
Yeah,
it feels a little bit more serious. If he doesn't practice today, I'm just a little concerned about DeAndre Hopkins. I think this could be again, you've got Treylon Burks back, which is great, but I think against the Chargers, give me some Chigakonkwo. Okay. If DeAndre Hopkins was out, obviously they'll lean on Derrick Henry, but give me some Chigakonkwo.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a game where they're probably going to have to be throwing as well. They're 3-point dogs at home to the Chargers. And then on the other side as well, we spoke about it a little bit, but not super interested in Joshua Kelly going up against that Titans run defense.
It'd be tough. I mean, he's probably still, based on volume, he's probably a top 20 play, but certainly you'd like him to be facing somebody other than the Titans.
Looking at the Raiders, this one matters a lot now. With Davante Adams back at practice and Jacoby Myers not out of concussion protocol, Jacoby Myers was one of the stars of Week 1, and the volume is going to be massive for him all season when healthy. Now Davante Adams feels like he goes back to the typical Davante Adams volume.
100%. By the way, you're 1-0 Las Vegas Raiders. Thank you very much. Don't forget it. And they're on the road at Buffalo, so that's a tough matchup, obviously, in Buffalo stinging from their loss. But Davante Adams is just, again, one of those guys that you just sort of bet on talent and volume, and you're not, maybe you downgrade him slightly, but especially without Jacoby Myers there. One thing I can't wait for, I don't know what you guys are looking forward to this weekend, but can I tell you what I'm most looking forward to this weekend?
Please tell me about it.
I can't wait till Sunday morning. Fantasy Football pregame. 11 a.m. Eastern on Peacock, and the NFL on NBC YouTube channel, by the way. I found out basically they're airing it free on YouTube as well. So you can check it out there on YouTube. But our friend Lawrence Jackson,
Yeah.
Hunter Renfro's biggest fan, will be here on Sunday morning. And I haven't gotten a chance to talk to Lawrence since last Sunday. We talked about it a little bit on Wednesday, but I can't wait to, refresh his memory about him taking Hunter Renfrow over Jacoby Myers, him mocking my Jacoby Myers.
A very niche island for Lawrence to really set up camp on Hunter Renfrow Island.
Hunter Renfrow is
At least
super weird.
my Michael Thomas island. Michael Thomas was a great player once.
At once, yeah. Hunter Renfrow had like 4 games.
Yeah.
Hunter Renfrow.
Hunter Renfrow was solid once.
Lawrence's Mount Rushmore is
It's weird.
strange.
I give it credit. It's out there.
It is. He's like an
Taking
Atlanta
swings.
fan, but he wears Dodgers hats. Like Lawrence is all over the place, and so I'm just happy when he wears a shirt because he doesn't always do that. And so anyway, I love Lawrence. But what I'm really looking forward to is talking to him about Hunter Renfrow in depth and why he thought Hunter Renfrow would have a better day than Jacoby Myers last week.
One last one here, guys, that I want to revisit is the Packers offense. We talked about how Aaron Jones, he's not practicing, what that means, of course, for A.J. Dillon. But Christian Watson also still not practicing. I mean, where does this offense, does that get him a bump to guys like Musgrave and Dobbs? I mean, the Packers, they trust Jordan Love to throw. So it's not like, that part of their game completely goes away.
Yeah, I think it's going to depend on a couple of things, right? Because if the Falcons can't run on Green Bay the way they were able to run on Carolina, they're not going to be able to control time possession here. And so the Falcons, who allowed the 6th most rushing yards in week number 1, so we'd expect A.J. Dillon to have a big game here. We'll see if Aaron Jones can go or not. But, yeah, I would think so. I mean, it doesn't feel like, some of it was inflated by, the short pass to Aaron Jones, and then he ran to the house. But Jordan Love ultimately, I think, had a pretty good game on the road at Chicago, which is not an easy place to play. And I do think that, I don't think Atlanta is as tough a place to play at Chicago, like indoors in the dome. Like Jordan Love should have a nice game. The Packers should have a nice game, and I do think, to your point, Romeo Dobbs and what's his name? Thank you, Luke Musgrave, are nice plays this week, especially assuming if Watson's out and Jones is out, full steam ahead.
Yeah, and I think that, look, this injury news to Jones and Watson has been enough to flip the Packers from favorites into Atlanta being favorites. To be fair, it was around 1, the line anyway, so teams don't often win by 1 exactly. But,
the Packers.
Yeah, you like the Packers?
I'm with you.
Okay, well,
the Packers getting points? Yes.
I would hope that Romeo Dobbs is right because he was the guy who looked the best for them, I think, and he wasn't at full strength because he was dealing with the injury. But looking at DraftKings now, like these receiving yards props, Jayden Reed, 39.5, Luke Musgrave, 31.5, Romeo Dobbs, 37.5. One of those guys is going to go well over. Maybe 2 of them, maybe all 3 of them.
Give me all the overs. But I definitely like Dobbs over. 37.5, you said?
If he is healthy, then he should clear that number pretty comfortably in the dome.
And if Watson's out.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.